Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, the video today is on this 2012 Astra J. The engine on this is the 2-liter diesel. This car came to me because apparently the car has no power, so I was told. I haven't drove the car, however I've noticed that when the car was dropped the engine light was on. I haven't started the car today. The car was dropped a few days ago, so let me start this thing so we can just confirm that the engine light is on, and indeed it is. So before I even go for a drive, because who knows that code is actually going to tell us straight away what my problem is, we're just going to plug in the maxi Cs, give it a scan and see what we have. Oh dear, where to start? Let me turn this off to start with. Right, engine under boost, last test failed, current DTC, intake runner control valve stuck open, failed, current DTC, engine control pump, engine coolant pump control circuit malfunction, past time fail, not run, not requested, fuel injection small quantity not learned, failed in current DTC. Right, let me see where we're gonna start. Before we do anything, let's gonna do an inspection on this engine and see how it looks like. Okay, look around the engine, nothing really looks out of place. Everything looks pretty much okay, so I can't really see nothing like sort of like, you know, sometimes I get cars here, well you guys know, but this one actually looks like everything's in place. So let's gonna go back in and do a test plan or a workflow plan, see what we're gonna do first, what we're gonna do second, and so forth. So the first thing I've done was take a picture of all these codes that were here before, clear the codes. These two codes come back straight away. Now a quick test that I'm going to do before I focus onto that one is onto this. I just want to see if this pump actually runs. So let me actually take you with me. What do you mean? So we are going to actuate the pump. So this oh, you can't see nothing. This coolant pump, so the 261A, then it says engine coolant pump. The coolant pump is gonna be this pump here. I'm gonna show you this. It's gonna be that pump in there. That pump pumps is the pump that pumps water through the EGR cooler. So if I go back here, you're not gonna be able to see it. Active tests, what is that? Engine cooler bypass valve, pump 1, there it is. See if I can run it. Okay, and it's working. I can definitely hear the pump working. Let me put the phone down there somehow. Actually, let me take the phone from here. Sorry about that, guys. Let me put the phone right down there and tell me if you can hear this pump running. So I'm gonna activate the pump now. Wait. Okay, so I'm sure you heard it. Okay, don't know how good it was on the camera, how good the microphone picked it up. The pump is definitely working. I can hear the pump spinning, and when I put my hand on the pump, I can actually feel the pump rotating. So I'm gonna guess that this code might be coming up because of, I don't know, maybe the pump is on its way out and the resistance on the pump, or I don't know, maybe the pump is on its way out and the ECU is detecting something wrong with it. But it is 100% working, so I'm not gonna worry with this too much. I think the fix on this would be a replacement, and that's it. But I'm not going to worry with that too much. That does not request the engine light anyway. I can only explain to the owner a new pump and that's it. But I'm not going to focus on that for now. The pump is working, that's all that matters. So, which means to me that when the ECU requests that pump to run, whether it's to regenerate the DPF, whatever the reason that might be, or under whichever parameters it needs to run that pump is actually pumping, is actually working. So I'm not going to worry too much with that. So going back to the next fault, which is the intake manifold runner control valve. Will this cause a lack of power? Possibly. If it says it's stuck open, I'm not sure if the open means open in the sense of opening to the intake of the valves, or if it's open some sort of other thing and is actually closed on the intake. I'm gonna guess it's open, but right, let me do a little bit of investigation, see where this is, and try to figure this one out. Okay guys, so the intake runner control valve for this is not a vacuum actuator. This is actually a motor. See this motor right here at the back? This is actually a kind of an actuator like this, which is right there at the bottom, right there. Now let me tell you one thing. I can't touch this motor here at the back. Is absolutely boiling. Is absolutely boiling. I can't really touch it. It's so hot. That's absolutely unbelievable. Now that could be for two reasons. It could be that the motor, the intake flaps are actually stuck, and the motor is obviously constantly trying to pull it to the right place. Or it could be that the actually actuator itself, well, it had its days. So one of the two probably happened. So I think what am I going to do is let me do something here, because I was trying to do a test, but you need the engine to run. And so let me see. Intake, so is it 5? So open, close, so that's the command, but I don't have a feedback by the looks of it. Or do I? Nope. No, I don't. So I don't have a feedback from that valve by the looks of it, which is not very good. The truth is, opening or close makes no difference on the engine tone, on the engine running. I would guess by closing two valves or whatever that is closing, you would feel some sort of, even if very faint, difference on the engine tone or something like that. But it literally makes no difference. No difference at all. So I think with no further ado, guys, it's time to remove that intake. There's no other way really. It's gonna be remove that intake and try to see what's going on with it. Okay, so I've started to remove stuff, and the first thing I want to show is that someone has been here very recently. I don't know, look at that. That was not me. You can see all those scratches inside the EGR. So someone has been here cleaning it, and definitely it was not me. So, oh dear, I don't know what I'm gonna find. Well, I found already this thread completely ripped in here. As you can probably see, it's completely gone. Look at that. This screw was doing nothing here, so someone over tightened this. That's the first thing I found. Guys, the manifold is out. An absolutely nightmare, especially one bolt right here behind the studs. You need to take the studs out in order, there's two studs, one at each end. You need to take them out in order to swivel the thingy. To be honest, I wouldn't need to remove it, but I didn't knew that before, and we'll give it a clean. But as soon as I took the actuator, I found the issue. Look at that. Whoops, look at how this is. That's how he was. More bits in there. So there he is. So there is like a shaft gear that goes in there, and that gear was broken. Okay. I'm gonna guess that the motor is good, but obviously it was stuck, and it couldn't move the flaps. The flaps themselves are actually, oh crap, are they moving alright or not? Let me have a look. Yeah, they are a little bit. Yeah, they are alright. Yeah, that's it. Now the flaps are good. They are spring loaded, so the flaps are actually good. Look at that. But the motor, this gear is gone. Right, we found the problem with the intake runner flaps. That's gonna get the bits and get it repaired. But guys, it's a nightmare to take this intake. Absolutely a nightmare. Okay, I had to quickly store some stuff here and some stuff on the van because it was start raining. I looked obviously at the gear that broke, and my initial thought was that I would try to get hold of just the gear, if it was any sort of a repair kit. But then I thought to myself, you remember me saying that this was really hot here at the back, so this is a screw-in cap. I unscrew these off, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Can you see these bits coming out from inside? This motor is completely gone. Let me see if I can actually dismantle this a little bit more. Okay, so the motor is just pulling out, but I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this. Something is loose inside. You can try to test the motor, but I doubt it's gonna work. Or if it does work, I don't want to put it like this anyway. Okay, and the motor is actually working. Surprise, surprise. But you're not gonna be able to see it, but the wines inside are so black, so black. Guys, honestly, that cap, I couldn't touch the cap because the cap would burn my fingers straight away. It was extremely hot. So I think the motor was constantly trying to pulling to a point where it couldn't do it. So, and yeah, and it's something inside, but the motor works. Surprise, surprise. Let me show you. But it's very noisy. Like if something is nice, it's not. But even if, guys, I don't have the cog, that broken cog, I don't have that anyway. So I'm gonna speak with the owner, see what he wants to do, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, a few days later, spoke with the owner. Honestly, every time I think that I removed this manifold because of the actuator, but honestly guys, I was convinced that I would be finding these ports completely clogged, and surprisingly they are not. We're gonna give them a clean, obviously. I'm not gonna put them in just like that. There's some loose crap inside, so we're gonna wash these down. But yeah, wasted a little bit of time removing the manifold, but it is what it is. Anyway, I spoke with the owner. I explained to him what the situation is, and the following day, which I was actually at work, which was 2 days ago, he dropped me this. So to be honest with you, this one is a little bit dirtier than that one. Not that makes a difference, but So what I'm gonna do, as you can imagine guys, is pull this out and put it over there. And from here guys, is pretty much what we're gonna do, is move that motor to there. He said that motor is working. If he's not, oh well, we'll be on him. So yeah, very quickly gonna move that to that manifold, assemble the manifold back in, and that's about it. A quick note on the manifold side of things. To remove this manifold, which I never mentioned, that there's two studs on this bottom here. These ones are screws, but these ones are studs with nuts at the end. You need to remove the studs out. This stud actually came on this manifold. You need to remove the studs because otherwise you can't slide the manifold back enough to come out of the studs because of the oil filter assembly that is right at the back of this. So to remove the manifold, you're gonna have to remove the studs. All you need is a 3/8, what's this, a 6 or 7 mil socket, and you take the stud from the head, and that's it. So anyway, with no further ado, let's gonna swap the parts, put this back on, and see if that fixes our problem. I'm not gonna take you through any of this. It's literally just put things back on, hoses, these and the other, bolts and nuts, and there's no rocket science really. Okay, before we replace this, let's gonna make sure that this motor is not suffering from the same problem. Don't know if this is a common problem on this manifold or anything like that. I never had to deal with it, but this one is perfect. Make sure it's the same design as the other one. Yep, you would have been the same thing. Yeah, same stuff. Right, let's gonna put a little bit of yeah, it's in good shape. Perfect. So let's gonna put a little bit of grease before we assemble this. And that's it. Okay, and I just thought about a quick update you here. Obviously I wouldn't be putting the manifold without cleaning it first. This is the original manifold of the car. I've cleaned it, and only after, as you can see, it's all washed down, and only after I've thought about it. You remember when I mentioned that one of these things here was stripped, the thread. As you can see, the thread is completely stripped. So I just thought I have the opportunity to put a good one. So I washed the one he dropped me. So it's all cleaned up, literally washed. These threads here are all good. So we're going to reuse actually the one he brought me. And yes, now I'm in the position to start to assemble everything and get everything on the car. Right, all in place, everything plugged in, all the electrics connected, etc, etc. There's no nuts or bolts left over, which is good. Don't need to say, but obviously, because you guys know there is an underboost issue. So obviously, while the manifold was out, I've tested the solenoid for the turbo, which is right there underneath the manifold, which is awkward to get to now, but was extremely easy while the manifold was out. So I had that out, tested it, working absolutely fine. But that's not really related for the problem with this video. But anyway, so as for the swirl flaps, everything is, or intake running flaps, whatever they called, everything's plugged in. So I guess I'm gonna add loads of faults. So I'm gonna get the maxi sys, plug it in. Because we've been messing with the fuel system, obviously the car's not gonna start straight away. I will expect that. But let's gonna get this running, scan the car, and see if this is sorted. Right. I've not even turned on the ignition. Let's gonna try to start this thing. I'm going to turn on and off the ignition a few times. Okay, let's try. Okay, let's try again. And he's running. Let me see if he runs okay. Yep, looks okay to me. Okay, let's go and scan this thing and see what we have in there now. Right, and I finished it right on time. Bloody hell, just been putting all the tools away. Anyway, clear the codes. In the meantime, these came up, which, to be honest, it will not surprise me. I never seen it before, but it won't surprise me due to the fact that the car had this problem with the swirl flaps or intake runners. He had issues with the underboost, as you have seen, which we might need to have a look at that. So, but yeah, but engine light is on, so I've just literally cleared the codes a few times, and even the one, let me show you, the engine is running here now for about, I don't know, you can see it's nearly at 90 degrees. It is running here for about 10-15 minutes maybe. And as you can see, there is literally no codes. Even the code that was here for the pump, if you remember, even that's gone. So I don't know if it was something else. I don't know if the circuit on that intake runner motor is maybe shared and that was somehow, I don't know guys, everything is possible sometimes, unless I would go and dig into this, but it's no point. The point is that the problem for the intake runners is resolved, and in the end, as you have seen, was that broken sprocket on the motor. Yes, if you want to take just that motor and check how freely the intake runners work, you don't need to take the manifold. I honestly did it because, maybe silly me, I was really expecting to see those intake ports completely clogged up, but they were actually not. They were quite clean. But if you want to take just the intake actuator, there is 2 bolts on the side and then 1 bolt right at the back, or screws. You take those out and that will come out. That's about it really. As for this video guys, for the intake runners stuck open, that's problem fixed. So with no further ado guys, I'm going to carry on working on it, see what we're going to do next. So I don't know if anything is going to make into videos. If they do make into videos, obviously just stay tuned. They will be published whenever. Right, so with no further ado guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope there's some information here you can find useful. If you do have any questions, any comments, please put them below, and like always, thank you for watching.